recently on TEDTalksdirector. This is a channel that puts up some talks that some are actually pretty philosophical and pretty good, I think. One that was put up a few days ago with a discussion of Simon Lewis. It's called "Don't Take Consciousness for Granted." Simon Lewis was in a car wreck, which put him in a coma, and he had to kind of recover from this. Now, the overall thing in his video is not something I exactly want to touch on, but if you want to go see the whole thing, it's actually pretty thought-provoking discussion, talking about his recovery and all that stuff. He talks about consciousness and all this stuff. It's actually philosophical. If you want to go check it out, you got that right here. But anyway, he used a phrase, or he uses a couple certain words in here about consciousness and its growth or retreat. This made me think, actually, because he kind of said what he thought consciousness retreat and growth kind of was. Possibly consciousness retreat being increased use of technology, sending a bunch of texts a day, and that's sort of a kind of a retreat because you're not appreciating the things around you, so it's kind of a retreat, sort of. But in this video, I want to talk about what I would think conscious growth to be, or the growth of the consciousness or of the mind to be, possibly because I have thoughts about antinatalism. I made a couple of videos on that before, and I'm satisfied with those videos, even though a couple of things I'm satisfied with those. I like those, but I'm not going to take them down, even though a couple things are misarticulated, I think. But I want to talk about conscious growth and retreat to possibly get back to the whole antinatalism thing, so I can refer back to this. What I would think conscious growth to be, I want to talk more about conscious retreat in a different video, but conscious, like I said, conscious retreat is where you are absorbing yourself in things that are superficial, possibly turning yourself away from the things that are actually important or that are healthy for you. So I would think about conscious growth to be things like appreciation. Appreciation for the moments that you are in. This makes me think about the Zen Buddhist Thich Nhat Hanh, which I'm going to talk about in a different video because it's very philosophically interesting, because he talks about this thing called mindfulness, where you are constantly aware of everything that is going on inside you, consciously aware of your breath, consciously aware of every movement, not dispersed. You are consciously not dispersed, and to me, this is a possibility of what conscious growth could be, because if you grow to understand everything about you and grow to appreciate things that are normally not something that they'll be appreciated, and live in what's happening now. This is what I think might be conscious growth, because you are it's kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit. So what I think about when I think of conscious growth is what I think about expanding your understanding, expanding your horizons, which might mean learning new things, might mean growing to understand new concepts, growing to understand other viewpoints, opening your mind a little bit. This could fall into the whole thing of opening your mind for one. Quit. I mean, live in the moment that is now, and temporally now. Grow to appreciate things that a lot of others don't have. Realize the possibility of you not having certain things. Learn new concepts. Learn things that you might not have read. Read a different book that has new concepts in it. Try to understand why certain people believe other things. If you're an atheist, try to understand why it's Christian believes what they do. If you're a Christian, try to understand why an atheist believes what they do. This is a somewhat kind of a conscious growth, because you are living in the moment, you are appreciating, and you are having a bit of a joy of what's going on here. Now, if you can see why I'm talking about this conscious growth, it's because if you have so I'm not exactly sure what conscious growth is yet. I'm just trying to throw some thoughts out there about what this might be. Because Simon Lewis kind of talked about what retreat is, but I want to think about what growth is, because I think it pertains largely to so I'm going to confess something here. I'm trying to formulate a counter argument to antinatalism without religious bias, because religious bias gets refuted because it's charged with not being reasonable, which is a very understandable charge, which is why I'm not going to use it in this counter argument that I have. And I'm eventually going to put this in a paper and do whatever with it, but I'm doing this for my own good, actually, because I'm tired of the negativity of antinatalists. I'm tired of all of it. So this is why I'm trying to throw these thoughts out there. And if you don't understand why conscious growth pertains to antinatalism, then just don't worry about it. But if you're watching this right now, think about what conscious growth might be. Think about what it might be. And I'm thinking now that conscious growth corresponds to the mind being happy, to there being some endorphins there, to there being maintained or consistent happiness, which is somewhat constant and not up and down. And I think when you have conscious growth, or when you are growing your consciousness, what you're going to have is a joy and a consistent happiness. I think that's for sure. But like I said, I think this might be engaging what Thich Nhat Hanh would say, the Zen Buddhist. Trying to understand different concepts that you didn't understand before, learning new things, expanding your horizon of belief, thinking about things, thinking about the cosmos, thinking about everything. And I'm not talking about just being a philosopher, but I'm talking about trying to understand other viewpoints, trying to understand the world even. And I don't know, just being happy with what is here, and then just because you understand if you understand everything that you come into contact with, I think things just might be better. But that's just my viewpoint of it. I wish I don't know. I wish I would have a better idea of what conscious growth is. I have a way better idea of what conscious retreat is, because it has a lot to do with conscious dispersion, but that's, I don't know. I need to develop my ideas, or I need to figure out what I think conscious growth might be beyond just doing what Thich Nhat Hanh says, and opening your mind to new concepts and ideas and new Weltanschauungs, worldviews, to understanding things and expanding your understanding and all that stuff. Because I think all of that it's a good idea. It's a good basic formulation of what conscious growth might be, but it's not quite good enough, because what I'm thinking that conscious growth leads to maintained or consistent happiness, but it's not quite the definition I'm looking for. So if you have any other ideas, please tell me.